Hi everyone, and welcome to week 8. We are just moving right along. I've really enjoyed reading the insights and your takeaways from the adult case study that you shared with one another during our most recent discussion board. I would like to think that the individuals that you interviewed would really appreciate the way that you plan to take that insight and use their experience to really guide your own teaching philosophy and the plans that you have for your students. It's such a great example of really demonstrating the true nature of a reflective practitioner. This week we're going to look into two concepts. Part one will be about students with speech and language impairments, and part two will be focused on gifted education. As we've already seen, several disabilities have profound impacts on a student's ability to communicate. We saw this when we explored intellectual disabilities and also when we looked into autism spectrum disorders. Generally speaking, students with speech and language impairments would be serviced by a speech language pathologist, in addition to receiving support from the special education teacher and the general education teacher. If a student's primary disability is not speech and language, so for example, if their primary disability category is autism or intellectual disability, students would typically receive speech therapy as what we would call a related service. If the primary disability category is speech and language impairment, then that would be their primary service. There is a great video actually from the speech language pathologist that I work with now that explains this difference and also talks a little bit about her role in supporting with the IEP process. As you can already imagine, it's really integral that the case manager and the speech language pathologist really work collaboratively all the way through the design of the IEP in terms of support and goals, and also through progress monitoring techniques and support within the classroom. The speech pathologist that I work with is fantastic, and we have this ongoing communication, and we really try to pull from one another. So for example, for a student that I have that has a disability category of autism, he's really working on answering questions specifically and precisely. And so she'll pull in reading comprehension concepts like main idea and details into her speech language services, and then I'll pull from her some strategies that she works on, such as stop and think before you speak. So it's really an ongoing, never-ending collaboration. This week we're also going to look into gifted education. And you may not automatically think of gifted education because our focus has primarily been on learning deficits. However, I really encourage you to expand your definition of students who have diverse learning needs to also include needs that reach beyond the curriculum. You'll read about a current student of mine who has these precise needs, and I'll share the plan that his gen ed teacher and I came up with for him. In this week's discussion board, you'll have the option to explore the topic in a group correlated with the age or grade of the students that you currently work with or that you intend to work with. That is thinking about the elementary, middle school, or high school level. And the reason why we're doing this is because I want you to have the opportunity to really focus your exploration and increase your own toolkits. And the very last thing you'll do this week is get a preview of an upcoming assignment. That's the professional organization project that'll be due in a couple of weeks. And really the purpose of this assignment is to become more familiar with the professional organizations that support students with disabilities. As always, please let me know if there's anything that you need. And also, I do want to mention that you are welcome to use the Ask Your Instructor page for any question, more than just getting your questions for course-related assignments answered. If you've got a burning special ed question or something that comes up in your practice, feel free to post it there, and I will do my very best to find you an answer. Thank you so much, and have a great week.